Or C, you got P had to be greater than positive or negative root 32, yeah? Which is weird because there's 0, there's negative root 32, and there's positive root 32, yeah? So greater than positive or negative root 32, you would think that would cover all of this, yes? Because root 32 is greater than negative root 32. So, again, we break the number line into 3 sections. Now, root 32 is pretty darn close to root 36, yeah? So, we're going to go ahead and use negative 6 and positive 6 and 0, yeah? So, we can go right to here. Is 0 squared greater than 32? This is not a trick question. No. So it can't be anything in there, yeah? Is 6 greater than 32? Yeah, so that works. Is negative 6 greater than 32? Negative 6 squared. Yeah, because it's positive 36, right? So this is what you get algebraically. But in reality, what is the real answer? P must be less than negative root 32, or P must be greater than positive root 32. Okay? Then we do the same thing here. Plus or minus 2/3. So we get the number line, 0. There's 2/3. There's negative 2/3. And again, our number line is split up into 3 different sections. Obviously, I'm not going to use a fraction there. I'm going to use negative 1, positive 1, and 0. So it's easy to check. 1 squared is 1. Is 1 greater than 4/9? Yeah, it is, right? So that's okay. Is 0 squared greater than 4/9? No, so it's dead. Is negative 1 squared greater than 4/9? Yeah, so it's good. So again, P must be greater than 2/3, or P must be less than negative 2/3. Yeah? Yeah. And then there was nothing else to check until this one. Oh, did anybody have any questions on 95? All the work is indeed there. Yes, Preston. Second D. So this one right here. Okay. So there's your ABCs, right? 1, negative 4K, and negative 3K. Yeah. Punch it all in, right? 16K squared, because that's negative 4K squared, right? Minus 4 times 1 times negative 3K. Well, negative 4 times negative 3K is positive 12K, yeah? So I got 16K squared plus 12K. So I factor out a 4, yeah? 4K. And now I'm at this point right here, where either 4K has to equal 0, or 4K plus 3 has to equal 0. So it has to be 0 or negative 3/4. Right? A lot of you understand this. You all look at that, so it's negative 7 plus 3, easy peasy. Right? But when I change it to this, you all, and I when I say all, I mean almost every single one of you forgets that. I don't know why. If I wrote it this way, x minus 0 and x minus 3, you would all say, oh, okay, that's positive 3, and x minus 0, Myers, you're an idiot, x would be 0. But if I write it the way we properly write it, which is this, everybody forgets. What is this saying? This is saying x times x minus 3 is 0, right? So obviously one of them has to be 0. The only thing that makes x 0 is 0. So over here, when it's 4k 0, like 4x 0, still have to be 0. You guys always forget that one. And when I say always, I mean almost every student and almost every time. Even though we've done a million of them. And my guess is because you are looking at this and saying, oh, I just changed the signs, I have the answer. Not thinking about what is actually happening, right? Even though I got plenty of video of me explaining this would have to be 0 or this would have to be 0. The only way to make this 0 is have it be -7, right? Anything else from page 95, or can I discuss the very weird question at the bottom? Time to do that one. So everybody should have been able, this is what we were just talking about, right? Q. Now I need this to be less than 0, yes? Which means either this factor must be negative, right? And if this factor is negative, then what would happen in here? Well, if this was -1, I'd have -20. -1 minus 1 would be -2. And I'd have -20 times -2, wouldn't I? Which would not be less than 0, yes? Everybody with me? And over here, if this was negative, Q would have to be less than 1, yeah? Because I got to be less than 1 to make this negative. But what's the first number that's less than 1? 0. So what's 0 minus 1? -1 times, if I use 0, what's 0 times 20? 0. So this would give me 0, not less than 0. Everybody still cool? So let's use a different one. Let's go to -1, right? What's -1 minus 1? This is not a trick question. What is -1 minus 1? -2. What is 20 times -1? What's -20 times -2? +40. So if we just follow the steps and we do this normally, right, where we say it doesn't have to equal 0 anymore, it's got to be less than 0. Okay, well that means that's negative or that's negative, right? So if I say that one's negative, Q would be less than 0. Okay, no problem. So this, everyone should be okay here, right? So, but then what I just said messes this up, doesn't it? Because if Q is less than 0, this doesn't work. If Q is less than -1, the first number there is 0, right? It doesn't work. So we got to have a look at the number line again, right? There's 0. There's 1. Now this one's weird because when we split the number line up into chunks, what are numbers that we always use? We always use 1 and 0 because they're easy to work with, right? So now we're kind of screwed, yeah? So this is easy. I can use a -1, right? So -1 times 20 is -20. -1 minus 1 is -2. -20 times -2 is -40. Is +40, I mean. That's not less than 0, is it? So this whole part of the number line is out, right? Let's come over here. Let's use 2, because that's in the green section, yeah? What's 2 times 20? 40. What's 2 minus 1? 1. What's 40 times 1? Is that less than 0? So this part's out, right? So where is the only part that's left? In here. Now we could check it, but we know it's going to be right, yeah? What's an easy one to use? What's an easy number between 0 and 1 that we can work with in our heads? Half, right? What's half of 20? 10. What's a half minus 1? -1/2, yeah? Positive times a negative will get me a negative, right? And I want less than 0. So this one, my answer, has to be 0. Did 0 work? Does 0 work? 0 times anything is 0. I need to be less than 0, don't I? So 0 doesn't work, does it? X. Does 1 work? Why not, Preston? Turns back in 0 because 1 minus 1 is 0, right? So 1 doesn't work. So can I have any equal signs there? It's got to be between 0 and 1 with no equal signs. Would 0.99 work? Sure it would. Would 0.999999 work? Yeah, because that would get me a negative right there, wouldn't it? Right? Would 999,999 millionths work? Yes. So I can get up to 1, but I can't touch 1. Right? Everybody cool? This is not a big deal yet. I am showing you this because it's a big deal in our next unit, which actually isn't, I don't remember if it's in your books or not, because they added it pretty late last year, and I don't remember if I got it in there. But don't worry about that. We'll cross that bridge later. So this is something that I need you to see from further down, because the algebra is easy, right? I mean, all we're doing is doing basic algebra, yeah? But the concept of what that basic algebra means, that's a little tricky. Cool? All right. Are we ready to try our quiz? Sure we are.